Hey, there, my brother Nephilim Free. I saw your recent hangout wherein came our brother Arcane logos, and you were discussing the flat Earth. It started off good. I was excited. I hope that you two would have a decent back and forward. But unfortunately, you became upset with him, and I don't know whether you actually kicked him out or not. But brother, you said that in the Bible there is actually you said that there's a passage where it talks about there being night and day at the same time, and you said that that can logically only happen on a ball Earth. Well, I'm sorry, brother, but I'm going to show you an animation right away to clear this up, because I was very upset when you said that, my brother, because that can happen on a flat Earth very well. And here's how. You see that, my brother? You see, this is the sun. Okay, it's not this millions of miles away from the Earth, and how many tens of thousands of kilometers in diameter. No, the sun is at most a couple of hundred kilometers in diameter, if at all. Okay, and this is how it is. Notice, this is the disk, right? Surrounded by the white place is Antarctica. The sun is here. This is the region it is covering at this moment. It's here. Okay, here are people, right? See on the disk, here are people, and here, of course, are people. Here it's day, here people are living, it's night. Now watch this. Now, here's the sun. So here's night, see? And here's complete night, and here is the day, here's the full day, here's a bit of partial day. So you can see as the sun goes around, right, on the disk, you can clearly see how there's partial day, day, and night throughout. I hope you can see that, my brother. See, this is the thing, my brother. Never make a conclusion before taking a look at the actual model. I wish you would have allowed Brother Arcane to show you this map. Easily explained. Now, my brother, to continue further, let me show you how the ancient Hebrews the ancient Hebrews, how they viewed the earth. Let's go there right away. Okay, can you see this? This is how the earth looks like. Okay, this is one model which is derived from the Bible. See, Jesus said there's four corners of the earth. You can see here's the circle. And by the way, in Isaiah, when often my Christian brothers and sisters, when they quote the passage, which is the only passage, by the way, that you can use to try to imply a ball earth, where it says God sits upon the circle of the earth. But notice, circle, the word there isn't ball. And there's a distinct word in Hebrew that means ball, and it was used by Isaiah, my brother. So Isaiah would have used the same word. Instead, he used the word for circle there. And the King James even translated as circle and did so correctly, because they know the distinction. And indeed, it is a circle, but it's not a ball. And indeed, there are four corners at each side. This is Antarctica here. So the moment you go south, let's say you are here in the United States. Okay, let's do this logically. You start off in the aeroplane and you say, I'm going to go straight. I'm not going to go here. I'm not going to go here or here. I'm just going to take one line, and I'm going to go straight, and I'm not going to curve around over here. I just want to go straight from any point. So you are here now. Okay, you get the permission and you do it. You will be going like this, let's say. Tap, you will be at Antarctica. And there will the excuses start. And they will say to you, sir, return please. You cannot go any further. They will make all kinds of bogus excuses of security and what have you, and not allow you to trespass. Otherwise, you will hit this over here. You will hit the edge. And you will perhaps even see an angel standing there who will say, Nephilim free, this is the area which God has not allowed anybody to trespass. I'm just giving you some options here. What can happen? Nobody has ever gone here in our time. The last time somebody went, I think that was in the 18th or 19th century, and they went up here and they saw some people living over here. Okay, a new land. And then all of a sudden, that guy was killed. Oh, don't know how that happened. Just another coincidence. No, my brother Nephilim Free. I think you should have an open mind, like I had an open mind. I'm now 80% convinced, not 100% yet, but 80% convinced that the earth is not ball shaped, but it is exactly somewhat like this. Let me show you some other models of the ancient Hebrews. Let's take a look at this one so you can get another view. This is how they believed it is. Here's the dome. This is the sky. This is the water above the firmament. Now watch how the waters are connected. They believe the waters here at the great deep are all connected over here. The Bible also talks about pillars. How do you explain that on a ball earth? Okay, there's pillars and there's Sheol over here, right? This is what the real Sheol is that the Hebrews believed in. See, the ancient Hebrews believed in an underground department, my brother, which you also seem to deny because you believe in soul sleep. The body is in the grave, but the soul is in Sheol. See, that even rhymes. The body sleeps in the grave. And by the way, that is just an expression. The ancient Hebrews, when they used to say, my brother, the body is sleeping, they didn't, even if the body has rotted away or has rotten, you would still use it. That's just how the language works, and say, my dad is sleeping in his grave. That means the body is there. They always meant that. When you dug up the body, then they used such phrases. They even used I for the body. The king is sleeping in his coffin. Okay, that means his body is there. They refer to that as him. Now, obviously, he's not in that coffin, right? The soul isn't in the coffin. Why should the soul be in the coffin? No, there's a special compartment for the soul. It's known as Sheol. But that's just, that would be a different argument altogether, my brother. The Bible says, for example, the earth is immovable. Nowhere does the Bible imply that the earth moves. So, from the plain reading of the text, we can only deduce that the earth does not rotate, does not spin, does not revolve. Okay? It says the moon gives his light. The Bible speaks as if the moon gives its unique light. Now, let me tell you something, my brother. Go and look up moonlight cooler than in shade. You can actually use a laser thermometer on a night which is not cloudy and a full moon. And you will notice when you point that thermometer in a region that is not under the moon, you will have a certain temperature that is greater than if you directly held that thermometer in the moon, pointed that thermometer directly at the moon. And this shows the moon has a cooling effect. The moon's light has a cooling effect, which is an unknown light. We don't know of any light like the moon's, which actually cools. In fact, all the scientists today will tell you there is no such thing, but there actually is. And this has blown this whole thing out of the water. Let me show you how the seasons work on the flat earth. Okay? In fact, they can work much more effectively. It's very hard to explain how the temperature isn't all uniform when the sun is so far away, and it's the heat should be distributed all over the globe almost equally. Not so on the flat earth. Take a look how the sun changes when as it revolves or around the, or as it's moving around the earth here on the flat earth. You can see it starts to get closer and closer to the middle, and then it spins, right? See, gets closer and closer to the middle as it keeps spinning round and round. This is the sun, right? This is the moon. And by the way, all the stars are also in this dome. They're also spinning here and here. These are not depicted at the moment. See? And then the sun starts to widen again. And you can see the complete animation for yourself. So you see, my brother, all these things can be explained. There's many, many, many other. I urge you to watch the debate between Rob Skiba. Okay, he's a good brother in Christ, and he didn't at first believe it. I didn't at first believe it as well. I thought it was totally ridiculous. But look up Rob Skiba Flat Earth debate. Let me see if I can find it right here. Here, Rob Skiba and Zachariah Bauer. debate flat earth. Please watch this video. Okay, it's very important for you, my brother, to have all the information. Then also look up ISS hoax. Okay, yeah, I believe it's, yes, this is it. The International Space Station does not exist. This is 1 hour, right, approximately. You can look up that video and hopefully it will change your mind, because it's all fakery. It's all very well explained there. These guys are actors. Okay, they are not really in space. Their inconsistencies, the bubble that supposedly came out of the spacesuit, well, it actually came out of the space. When it went out, it went up in a curve. You can clearly see that. That is exactly what happens underwater. No, my brother, these guys are underwater. They are in an underwater enclosure, which you can find in Russia, and even in the States. They have underwater parks specially created so that they can create movies for space sceneries, for example, for sceneries or scenes in space. That is very well known, my brother, and you should take a look at that. Let me see if there's anything else, because I just want to highlight the main points. Yeah, Jesus Christ, when he went on the top of the mountain, he talked about the four corners of the earth. In the book of Revelation, my brother, what do we find there? We find that the stars will fall from heaven to the earth. How is it possible, my brother, for these billions of miles away stars, who are supposedly some of them bigger than the sun, thousands of miles in diameter, how can they be falling to the earth? That is what is logically impossible, my brother. So the only way now you can say is, well, that's all figurative. Well, how about we end up saying that Christ's death, burial, and resurrection is spiritual as well, is figurative as well? No, my brother. Just as you cannot take the Genesis account, which talks about creation, you cannot take that figuratively. You can't take these events, because if you read the context of these events, they are very physical. When Christ went to the mountain, it's all physical. When he said that he's now, or when he was shown the four corners of the earth, that is not figurative speech, my brother. And I've just shown you previously how the disc is enclosed in a square. There's four corners. All right, you can take a look at that. Don't let yourself get deceived, my brother. And I'm going to say it again. Brother Arcane made a very strong point when he said about the ships. Now, you try to counter that by saying, well, I have seen videos of people using a telescope and then seeing this ship once again going beyond the ground. Yeah, but if you continue to zoom in, once again, that ship will come into full sight. That is what my brother Arcane was saying. Now, you have to show a video where I zoom in a ship constantly, and despite me zooming it in, there comes a time when I can no longer see the front of the ship. That's what you have to show. But I'm very confident, brother, you won't come across such a video. If you keep zooming in, but obviously now the telescope has any telescope has a limited amount of zoom. So you then have to use another telescope in front of that telescope and have to re-zoom in. But I can guarantee you, once again, that ship is going to come into full sight. Because people have done it with a zoom camera. They have first zoom in a little, let the ship go a bit. Okay, it starts to disappear again. Now let me zoom in a bit more, zoom in a bit further. It again starts to come in, and so on and so forth. No, my brother. Please consider this. Do not allow. And you see, this whole a ball earth is very easily explained by really easily favors the atheist side, because if the earth is complexly structured like this, okay, like a dome or like this, then of course this is intelligent design, my brother. Whereas a ball-shaped earth is not necessarily intelligent design, because gravity, as you know, can easily explain why a ball shape or a round ball shape is formed when matter coalesces. Okay, when matter collides together, it's very logical and easily explained why that becomes round, right? Because gravity, because of the action or the equal action of gravity in all sides. towards the center. Okay, gravity doesn't have to be programmed in any more in any sophisticated way. Uh, if matter if matter has a constant amount of gravity, which linearly increases per the mass, right? Then we automatically get a ball type of shape when matter coalesces, right? That's easily explainable. This is why the evolutionists, I believe, they want the Earth to be round. They want the planets to be ball shaped and the Earth to be ball shaped, because then there is no sophistication. All what we need is the law of gravity. That's it. That one law, as the atheist claim, can result in the formation of the ball shape. No, brother, this is all a deception, I believe now. This is all a joke. And I urge you to reconsider it, please. Okay, this is what a sophisticated God-made Earth would look like, right? And you can take a look at these various pictures over here. This is how the ancient Hebrews, by the way, they believed it. It was not until the Greek philosophers introduced this pagan idea of a ball-shaped Earth, because they knew already, I believe, that that is easily explained by random fluctuations, okay, or just a single law, like the law of gravity, coalescing particles together, forming just like a bubble. Okay, the bubble automatically becomes round because of the air pressure in all directions. There's no sophistication needed there, right? That's why we never see square bubbles and things like that. There's no sophistication to it. Therefore, it favors atheism. Here again, we see the flat Earth map. This is Antarctica. This is the North Pole. And the sun spins around like this. And as I've shown you before, and you can watch many other models of the flat Earth. There's a ton of them now out there. And my brother, I should even tell you, there are some honest atheists out there. Okay, now don't get that there is a website actually that makes a mockery of the flat Earth. They pretend to be genuine, but they are not. Okay, so you can discard them, you can trash them already. But there are genuine atheists out there now, even, who have admitted that NASA is a bunch of BS. Everything is fake there, my brother. It's all Illuminati controlled. Okay, don't trust them. I know your expertise in photography may bias you to think that no, this cannot, this must be true. No, brother. I'm pretty sure you have overlooked many things. If you carefully study them, you yourself will notice them. Take a more careful look at the pictures they bring you now, at least. Forget about what happened in the past. Take a look at the pictures that NASA sends out now of the round Earth, and you will find many, if not all of them, to be outright fakes. For example, in one map, they were showing the weather map there, they had two cloud formations exactly similar in pattern next to each other. How is that possible? Do you think clouds form exactly in the same shape next to each other? That would be a huge coincidence, right? Clouds usually form in random patterns. What a major coincidence that right there next to each other we see two clouds in the exact same shape. No, my brother. This smells of CGI. Okay? This is very clear. Satellites, let me explain that to you quickly, my brother. Have you ever wondered why satellite dishes are always placed at an angle and never straight up? If they truly were satellites, we would have regions where they would be straight up. Well, we don't have straight up dishes except by the scientists who supposedly track from the satellite, but they, of course, are the ones deceiving us. So if you find this big dish, from in a station somewhere out in the desert where they're supposedly carrying out experiment, well, we can put that in a trash can, can't we? No, I'm talking about common human beings who have who buy the satellite dishes in order to watch television. That's what I'm talking about. You never find them placing them straight up. And the reason, my brother, is this: there are radio towers which strike the sky at an angle, and the sky, as we know, reflects. And by the way, there's a hard surface, right? It's a mirror like thing, just like the Bible says. Okay, my brother, we also need to take that literally. Here up here is a mirror-like cover, and this is why when the radio tower sends, for example, they pretend as if it's coming from the satellite, but it's actually a radio tower over here, right? From these smart guys, they shoot like a laser beam. They shoot the signal here, and then of course at the same angle of incident is equal to angle of reflection. You know that, my brother. It goes down at an angle over here again from the sky. This is how it's able to pass huge distances, like tap 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 tap, right? Without having to, if they were to send it like this, of course it would immediately dissipate in the trees and what have you, buildings. But here it can go undisturbed down here again over large distances if they shoot it up to the sky at an angle. This is how it operates, my brother. I've looked into this. It makes perfect sense. All of these things can be explained, right? You can do the study for yourself, and it makes the seasons make, like I said, much more sense on a flat earth than they do on a ball earth. Now, in regards to gravity, yes, brother Arcane mentioned its density. I'm not yet there. That's one point that I do not yet agree with brother Arcane. I believe it is electromagnetism. God has built it into the earth, right? It is a component, sorry, of electromagnetism. That's what I believe gravity is, right? It works in much the same way like magnetism, except that it attracts all objects. So there's no problem with that. We don't need to have a ball earth in order to have gravity. God could have put a gravitational device beneath this earth over here, which acts equally over this plane, or almost equally all over. There's no problem with that whatsoever. So you do not need a ball model for that either. With that being said, my brother, I leave it at that. These are just few points to consider. There's a lot more that you need to study, my brother. Okay? So, this is all I wanted to say for you. Hope you'll reconsider this. And God bless.